If you think you already know everything about pull-ups, take a seat and let us convince you of the opposite. The first thing that may surprise you is about the grip width. Many people think that a very wide pull-up grip is optimal when it comes to latissimus activation. But the truth is that a very wide grip does not increase your latissimus activation at all. The optimal width is a shoulder or a little more than shoulder wide grip. Going beyond this width decreases the range of motion and increases the stress on the shoulder capsules to a point that high repetitive loads may cause damage. Now what about those angled bars you can find in gyms? Well, the angle of your shoulder and arm doesn't really change. But the benefit is that you can pull your elbows a little bit better towards the torso and have a more wrist-friendly position than on a straight bar. Alright. So too wide is bad in most cases, but what about narrow grips? Well, if you use a very narrow grip, you are more likely to pull your elbows in front of your body and with that emphasize your forearms, brachialis, brachioradialis and biceps instead of your back. Don't get me wrong, some slightly closer grips can still work quite well for back activation. But for that you should be able to move the elbows next to and if possible even behind your torso. Focus more on shoulder movement instead of the elbow flexion in the first place. The second thing you probably didn't know is about neck pull-ups. When doing behind the neck pull-ups, you put your shoulder into an extreme external rotation and abduction. The interesting thing is that this position can be bad or good depending on the load. Pulling your own body weight into this position requires an exceptional amount of shoulder mobility and stability to do it safely. Most people don't have this kind of shoulder mobility and stability, so they are stressing their tendons, ligaments, bursae and the whole structure of their shoulder complex way too much. To benefit from the stability and mobility component, we suggest neck pull-ups on rings with your feet on the ground. Here you can increase or decrease the load easily by supporting your own body weight more or less with your feet. In comparison to the pull-up bar, you also don't have to adjust your neck into an uncomfortable position and are able to keep it neutral. Another benefit is that rings are not fixed, so that you can rotate them into a more shoulder and elbow friendly position. If you don't have rings but a resistance band, you could do the behind the neck swimmer or band resisted behind the neck pull downs. Long story short, the risk-reward ratio is simply not worth it. But we still suggest to use behind the neck movements as a shoulder mobilizer and stabilizer with the right amount of load. The last eye-opener is about the grip itself. As you probably already know, the underhand grip involves the biceps the most. The overhand grip has a strong focus on your brachioradialis, and the neutral grip is a good all-rounder. What you may not know is that the grip can also have an impact on your shoulder and elbow health. The overhand grip, especially the wider one, can be uncomfortable for these joints. A more joint-friendly position, at least for most people, is somewhere around a neutral grip. You can also easily test the most comfortable joint position for yourself by trying them on rings. If you don't focus on a specific way to pull up, the rings will automatically adapt to the shoulder and elbow position that feels best for you. This gets even more important when we take a look at advanced pull-up variations like typewriter or archer pull-ups. It not only feels way better to turn the rings to the most joint-friendly position, it's also the best way to minimize short and long-term injury potential without having any downsides. Alright guys, if you follow these 3 tips, you will be able to train pain-free and make huge gains. Of course, we also considered all of these tips in our calisthenics workout programs. So if you don't want to waste your time with ineffective workouts, you should head over to calimove.com and get our step-by-step workout guides. Every guide comes as an online course you can follow easily without worrying on when to train, what to do and how much to do. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe and activate the notifications. My name is Alex and I'll see you in the next video.